Ohio State, who's always seems to have a great team and always seems to be in this tournament advancing. A few years ago, we had a very good game against them in the Sweet 16 in LA, and came down to the final possession. A lot of good players, a great game, and we're expecting a terrific game tomorrow, and hopefully I think some of the things that we went through yesterday in our second round game that we'll learn from and be even better. I think we'll have to play better tomorrow to have a chance to beat Ohio State.
Sure. Paul Keels, WBNS Radio Columbus. Sean, can you talk about the influence that Dad's had on you and the influence that Charlie Cole's had on both of you two?
Well, yeah, I mean, all of us as coaches are a product of the staffs that we've been a part of and the places that we've worked. You know, Thad and I really got to know each other in the early 90s, which is a long time ago now. And you're right, we were assistant coaches to Herb Sendek. Charlie Coles was the other assistant coach. And I don't know if it was just the timing or maybe the personalities of all three of us, but I think we all had a profound effect on each other, and a really something that goes beyond coaching, a friendship of great meaning. And obviously Charlie has passed, but Thad and I obviously are very close.
Paula Bovin, Arizona Republic. Sean, it was interesting hearing Rondé yesterday talk about how much he has come to embrace being the defensive guy. I would imagine this era of AAU ball, that's not always a natural thing when guys come into college. Did you see sort of a transformation with him, or was he that guy from the beginning?
You know, defense, like a lot of things in a college basketball program, is carried from almost one generation to the next. You know, for me, this is my sixth team at Arizona, and I thought the first player that really embraced our defense would have been Kyle Fogg. And, you know, Kyle in his last year playing for us was on the all-defensive team and really embraced it, learned it, took great pride in being the defensive stopper. He passed the torch to Nick Johnson, who I believe passed the torch to Rondé, and you know, and TJ's a kind of part of that as well. But they show a younger player the way, and you hope that that young, talented player who has the tools of someone like Rondé embraces it, and Rondé sure has.
Sean, last summer, I think you showed the ESPN 30-on-30 thing with Detroit. What were you hoping to get from that, and how has that helped you through the last few months? The guys talked about it recently, about how it's kind of teamwork, having backs, stuff like that.
Yeah, you're talking about the 30 for 30 ESPN special, the Bad Boys. You know, I thought there was a lot of great team-building things in that documentary, things that we talked a lot about as far back as last spring, and then this summer when our new guys showed up, and then we hit it quite a bit this fall, and then once in a while we'll even show different clips or talk about it throughout the year. And there's a lot of messages that you can get out of it. I think most importantly is, you know, with team success, it's amazing how individual accolades follow, and how players within a team, when they sacrifice, it almost comes back around where, again, they benefit. Dennis Rodman would be a great example. Somebody who just focused on being a great defender, teammate, rebounder. The next thing you know, he's an all-star, sixth man of the year, you know, a Hall of Fame player, and he didn't do it through scoring. But somebody had to take on that role, and he did it. And what leadership, they had, you know, the leaders, Isaiah Thomas being one of their leaders, where he wasn't afraid to confront new players or the younger players to show them the way. So there are a lot of lessons, and I think the last part is, you know, defense is something you can really control better than offense. And I thought, you know, for our team, being totally committed to being a great defensive team will take us the furthest that we can go. That would have been the one thing yesterday that I think we share, and a little disappointment. Not a lot, but there were times we were picking and choosing on how hard we were playing defensively. And, you know, if you look at the final score and how Texas Southern scored on us, they scored on us easier than a lot of teams recently have. So that's, hopefully we got that out of our system moving forward here.
Sean, Brad Susmat, Sports 360 AZ. Do you like these games with that, and would you play them during the regular season?
No, it's you know, it's hard to play someone that you care a lot about, and you know, this is the third time that we've played, so I think every time that it happens, it's less of a burden and it feels more natural. And this feels more natural now than maybe the second time or certainly the first time. But inevitably, if you're in this tournament, you're going to find yourself matched up against friends or former places that you've been, and it just seems to be part of the storyline that makes the tournament. Last year, everybody would bring up my brother, as Dayton would march towards the Final Four, and we were simultaneously. But I guess that's one of the many things that makes this tournament so captivating. But, Thad and I are good friends, but I think this game is so much about Arizona versus Ohio State, and two very good teams playing for a Sweet 16 opportunity, and I think that's, to me, our focus right now.